Hello Year 6, it's Miss Jobbins here with your lesson 5 in art. I hope that you're really enjoying the art topics that we've got so far for you, and that you're having fun and that you're really having a go at the different tones, shadings, different ideas that different styles and tones that you can. Now today we're going to be looking at and exploring Impressionist styles of art. Now last week we looked at, or last lesson I should say, we looked at Expressionism. Now to recap over Expressionism, if you can you look back at the previous bits of work and maybe can you summarise in your book what Expressionism is. Pause this video and have a go. Welcome back. Now we know the Expressionism movement started in Germany and these artists wanted to paint about emotion. It could be anger, anxiety, fear, or even peacefulness. This wasn't a completely new idea in art, as other artists like Vincent van Gogh had been doing the same thing. However, it's the first type of art that had been given a name. So it started in the early part of the 1900s and it tried to convey emotion and meaning rather than reality and straightforward landscapes and things. They tried to convey it in different ways and tried to get those feelings and emotion through art. Each artist had their own unique way of expressing their emotions in their art, and in order to express this emotion, the subjects were often, or the artists often painted distorted and different sized and different shaped or exaggerated pieces of art or people's faces. And at the same time, we remember that colours were often vivid and shocking and really like out there compared to your everyday sort of like general pieces of artwork that were around before. So today we're going to explore Impressionist styles of art. So your success criteria is I can discuss the key features of Impressionist styles and I can recognise examples of Impressionist art. So we're going to recap over what are the features of realist art. Today we will be learning about different styles of art called Impressionism. What might Impressionist mean? So think about the word Impressionism to help you. So before we start, let's think about realist art. Now, we've heard realist art before and we know what it means. You can think about the word realist meaning what are the characteristics? So we know, thinking to yourself, pause the video, write down what is realism? What is realist art? So we know that realism was an art movement that revolted against the emotional and exaggerated themes of romanticism. So artists and writers began to explore the reality of everyday life. So realism artists tried to sort of show the real world exactly as it appeared. So things like the water lily scene or general landscape that showed real everyday art. You created your own real art by drawing a real picture of Polly Ho Yen. And it just basically shows an exact replica of what you can see. They've basically taken a picture of it but created it through artwork. That is what realism is. So it was where realists started to try to show the real world exactly as it appeared. They painted everyday subjects and people. They didn't try to interpret, so that meant change the setting or add emotional meaning like the expressionist artists tried to do to scenes. So today, Impressionism, we might think the word impression, that's another meaning for Impressionism. They've just added a suffix to it. So you need to think about what does the word impression mean to you? Write that down. What does impression mean to you? So Impressionism, we want to think about a general overview of Impressionism. It began in France when a group of young and talented artists decided to rebel against the established art critics and form a new style of painting all on their own. Impressionism is wanted to capture a moment in time. So it was mainly popular in sort of the 1860s, 70s, 1860s, the 1870s, and the 1880s. And the Impressionists wanted to capture a moment in time. They were more concerned with the light and colour of the moment than with the details of the objects they were painting. They often painted outdoors and worked quickly to capture the light before it changed. They used rapid brush strokes and often used unmixed colours to save time. They used unusual visual angles and common everyday subjects. For example, you could have a look at the dance of the Le Moulin. So look at dance, if you can, Google dance at Le Moulin de la Galette. which is a sort of impressionist picture. You've also got Her Arms in the Theatre Box, which is absolutely beautiful as well. You've also got A Paris Street Rainy Day by Gustave Caillebotte, or Caillebotte. You could also have a look at artwork by Edgar Degas, Edward Monet, Claude Monet, Edward Manet, I should say, sorry, and Mary Cassatt. Have a look at those, Camille Pissarro and Pierre-Auguste Renoir, lots of French artists, essentially. If you Google Impressionist artists, you'll see what I meant by that. So have a look at these two pictures, and in your books, can you write down, maybe label 1A is the boat, and B is this other scene here. Which one do you prefer and why? Tell us in full sentences, please. Point, evidence, and explain. A bit like our apes, can you answer, prove, and explain it? Why do you prefer picture A with the boat than to picture B, or vice versa? Which do you think is the Impressionist painting? How can you tell? So what I've just said, you can recap over that. But essentially, it's where they've taken a moment in time and they've distorted it slightly. Which one do you think is the Impressionist painting and why? Then your task 2 is, if you can you print these out and stick them into your books and label what you can see. If not, just, as I said, label them A and B, 1 or 2, and label what can you see. Describe it using some powerful adjectives. You could Google some powerful adjectives or use a thesaurus to support your works. Once you've done that, use what emotion does it make you feel? Spend, I'd say, a solid 10-15 minutes doing this, and then come back to me. So pause this video, so I had to have some water. Pause this video and then come back to this. Once you've done that, I'd now welcome back. I hope that you enjoyed that. Now we're going to look at some famous artists. So J.M.W. Turner was born in 1775 and died in 1851. He was the son of a barber and was quite poor. This is him here. He loved the outdoors and quickly sketched everywhere he went. He didn't produce realist paintings. He liked to paint in the light and the emotion, giving an impression of it. He also, sorry, I don't know what this is. Hello, coming up with the Great British Bake Off, always helpful. He also got Netflix as well, always fun. He also got very enthusiastic and would slap on paint. So that sort of literally like got the paint and just like bam, with a knife, or stab his paintbrush into the painting. He even used his fingers to smear, like a bit like they've done here in the background, these colours. And look how beautiful they are. You can still tell the scene. You could still sort of tell what's going on, but it's an impression of it rather than an exact replica of it. You also had, as I said previously, Claude Monet. Now, I'm not going to read this all to you. You can read this yourself, but again, these are some of my favourite paintings here. He wanted to make sure that it was used with dabs and splashes of artwork more than just giving an impression, and rather than giving you an exact outlook. Now, some of Monet's work is now going for billions. Some of it is even priceless, and it's absolutely beautiful. So please make sure that you read through these. So you've also got Impressionist portraits. So there's one of Vincent van Gogh here, or Van Gogh here as well. These are impressions of what the people look like. They're not exactly replicas of or realist pictures. These are impressions of what these people look like. Can you tell me what the difference between Impressionist portraits and realist portraits? Looking at these three, what the difference between a realist, where we think about exactly what the person looks like, to these Impressionists, giving a sort of more idealistic view of them? What are the difference? Please write them down in your books, and maybe you could print these off. Maybe you'd like to note them down yourself. So your final task today, ladies and gentlemen, once you've noted those down, we'd like you to create your own Impressionist style portrait based on the photo below of Polly Yo Hen. Using her picture, look at the subject carefully. Where are the areas of light and dark? You can see the darker areas are under her chin, her hair, even under her eyes and around her cheekbones and her chin area. Her lighter areas are maybe the lighter shades of skin around her where they've used the lighter tones. Think about the colours you'll need to use, and maybe select and mix watercolours. If you don't have them, pencils will be good, just as good. I wouldn't recommend pens because, again, as I said, when we were doing our shading and toning, they're quite difficult to shade and tone and tint with. So I'd use pencils if you don't have paint or watercolours or oil pastels. Apply with short, messy brushstrokes. If not, with different types of pencil strokes, that would work just as well. And think about your toning and your blending and your shading as you do it. Okay. So have a go. Remember to refer back. Please remember to refer back to the information found here as well. We really look forward to seeing your pieces of work and have lots of fun. See you soon. Bye. And don't forget to upload to Dojo. Yay!